So here we are at 1.2, which is estimation. And we've had experience with this before, but it seems like I have a lot of students in the Ignite classes through the years that have trouble with this because they so like that exact number. They don't like to estimate at all. Estimation is important to know if you're in the ballpark. And so it's important to have some of these methods. I'm going to go through each one with you. So our first method is round to the same place value. So in one example, if you're estimating how many miles it is to bike on a trailhead, I'll put the example up here. Estimate how long it takes to bike from the trailhead to the swinging bridge and then to the waterfall. So here's our trailhead to the swinging bridge, 28, and then swinging bridge to the waterfall is 114. So if we were to estimate this, 28, if we round to the tens place, we'll go to 30. And since we have a 100 here, we're going to round it still to the tens place because that's what we did up here. And so we round it. Remember, if you draw a circle or a box around this number, and you look to the right, and the one to the right tells it whether it stays the same or it goes up. So it's either going to change to 3 or stay a 2. Change to 3 here, it's either going to change to 2 or stay a 1. 4 is less than 5, so it goes down. And so when we estimate, it'll be about 140 minutes. Should put an N there. If we are to subtract two numbers and they're both in the hundreds, then we can go ahead and do this where we round to the nearest hundred. So this would go down to 200, and this would also go down to 100. So it would be 100, about 100 minutes, if that's the same label that we're using for the other ones. This one is pretty self-explanatory, but I find that the other one, the leading digit, and if you would write that down and make sure you realize that it is the first digit in the number and it's on the left. It is the biggest number in that number. The very first digit at the left. So when we look at 191 and 11, I just drew a red circle around the ones. They're the furthest digits to the left. So if you round to this place value, it would round up to 200. If I round the 1 to the nearest place, it would be 10, because the 1 would force it to go down. Well, it's way easier to figure out 200 times 10 than it is 191 times 11. So you would be at about 2,000. So leading digit is an important thing to remember for multiplication. Okay, let's try this with this example. The furthest digit to the left is right here. So the 1 is in the thousands place, and it would just stay 1,000 at that point. Well, a 4 would go down to a 0, but it's a 4. So you would do 1,000 and keep the 4 the same, and that would be 4,000. Okay, so I just wanted to point out, you know, if you were at a 9, I could see that you would maybe go up to a 10 and do 1,000 times 10. But you wouldn't want to go down to a 0 because obviously every number times 0 is 0. Compatible numbers, I always call these moosh. You know how sometimes things just go together really well, like peanut butter and jelly. A lot of people like that, or, you know, chocolate and caramel, that sort of thing. They kind of moosh together really nicely. They go together. Well, compatible numbers are a lot of times what we use for estimating quotients or division. So if we have 59 goes into 469, that just looks like it's hard for my brain to get around what that would be. So what I'm going to try to do is play with these numbers so I get really, really close to what my quotient will be. This is almost a 60, so I'm going to put the 60 on the outside. Well, what number that's close to 460, 470-ish will 60 moosh into really well? Well, I know that 6 times 8 is 48. So 6 goes into 48 8 times. So 60 goes into 480 about 8 times. So what you are trying to do here is find a number that's super close. This is the important one. Find something that's going to be really easy to moosh. And then what number is it that it will evenly go into? You wouldn't say that this is 470 because 6 doesn't go into 47. Let me show you another one. So if we have 68 and 213, 68 is nearly 70. Okay? Well, 213, I know 7 and 21 are mooshable numbers, compatible number. And that's, again, here is the definition. You estimate a quotient so that they calculate easier. So I'm going to say 210, and 3 times 70 is 210. So 68 goes into 213 about 3 times. The reason we do this is if we were to actually calculate this out with remainders and all of that, you want your brain to very quickly and easily figure out about how much it is. Because if you got 35 for your answer, you know that's nowhere near a 3. Or if you got 25 up here, you know that's nowhere near an 8. You've miscalculated. That's all there is to this particular assignment. But what I do want to tell you is when you estimate on these, the work that I want you to show is something where if you have like 193 times 4, I want you to write down the problem and tell me what you estimated it to. So this would be leading digit, and so I would do 200 and I'd keep the 4 the same, and then I would do 800. What I don't want you to do is just, okay, 193 times 4, I'm looking in the book, okay, I'm just going to write down an 800 on my paper. I want you to show me the work. Please kill a tree in math class. As well, if you have, let's see, let's do 27 plus 64. This is one where we're going to do that to the same place value. I want the arrow, I want 30 plus 60 is 90. Circle the answers. Okay, this is how I want your math assignment done, because sometimes it shows me where you've estimated incorrectly. And like I said, it seems like an easy concept, but every year I have students who struggle with this because their brain estimated differently than I taught. So the biggest takeaways from this is we are going to be estimating with addition and subtraction using this first method, where we round to the same place value. The leading digit we're going to use with multiplication, okay? And then division, we are going to find compatible numbers. And remember, those are the mooshing numbers. These notes may be used on your quiz that will be coming up in a little while. So make sure that you keep great notes in your notebooks, because you can use them and they do come in handy. Good luck on your assignment today, and see me if you have any questions. Oh, just because we haven't done this very often, what I'm going to do is I am going to show you where the assignment can be found. That's in the math folder, the blue math folder. We're in chapter 1 and it's 1.2. There's 16 possible on the regular, 22 on the challenge. It is not a hard assignment. And even though the challenge has more possible, I don't think it will take anyone a terribly long amount of time to do. So if you want to be considered for the challenge group in several weeks from now, we'll choose that and see how you're doing on quizzes and tests. You have to have shown 80% mastery on the challenge assignment if you would like to do that. Good luck on your assignment today, and see me if you have questions.